God doesn't waste the experiences of his children, right? This is something that I've said to myself. This is something that I've said to people to encourage them, right? When they're going through certain things that, oh, probably God is allowing you to go through this thing because of something in the future, which of course is the truth, right? But somehow it doesn't just change or take away the fact that there are some certain, feelings that are associated, with some certain experiences that we'll have to go through in our walk with God as children of God. So this is like a review. It's not really like a review, right? Because I'm just picking out the stories of two individuals from this series that I watched, and I'm just trying to discuss it based off on God doesn't waste the experiences of his children. Now, if you have watched The Chosen is actually a depiction of the Bible, the story of Jesus, his ministry, right? When he started his ministry, his disciples and all whatnot. And then there was also an attempt to expand on some of the lives of the disciples. Of course, it's a depiction, but it doesn't really mean that it's everything that was in the Bible that is in the story. They added some, flavor and some bit of details, to the characters to just make it more relatable. Okay, so now in this particular series, there are the stories of two people that actually stopped me on my tracks, and I wept. Okay, now imagine a situation where you're seeing Jesus healing everyone. Okay, you're seeing Jesus providing for their needs, you're seeing Jesus healing people, you're right there with him, you're in the inner circle, but then you are struggling in your own way, and it seems like he is not paying attention to your own struggles. Now, the story of Simon, that is Simon Peter, and then the story of Little James. Little James, yeah, that's his name. The person who was still crippled, and Jesus had come and told them, oh, I've empowered you guys to go into the world, go to this place and that place and heal people, evangelize, tell them about me, tell them about the kingdom of heaven and heal them. I have empowered you, I've given you the power to heal. And for little James, it was a bit confusing, because how am I supposed to tell these people about a healer and also heal them when I am going through this condition? I'm still with my walking stick, I'm still limping. Why haven't you healed me? For Simon, the one that really broke my heart is the fact that at the point that he was actually ready to start having children with Eden, he goes away for what? Ministry, right? Work with Jesus, to go and do the work of God. His wife takes him and she has a miscarriage. And he is seeing Jesus doing all of these things for all of the other people. And he has to grieve the loss of his child. And in all of this, I'm sitting and I'm thinking, why? Why all of this? And it gets to the point whereby Jesus was telling little James that there is a greater purpose. There's a greater reason for why you are still like this. It is all part of what? The glorification of the name of God. And still, like I said earlier on, God doesn't waste the experiences of his children. It's something that I have said a lot of times, but it doesn't change the fact that sometimes it just doesn't make sense that God would allow us to go through certain things, and while we watch other people prosper in whatever it is that they are doing with even little or minimal efforts. Okay, it's almost like I am putting in all of this effort, I'm doing all of these things, but then I'm seeing people that they don't even care so much about their relationship and their work with God, and they are getting all of these things. Now, when the Bible says that I remember Jesus was saying that some of the things that we will experience is even more than what he experienced here on earth. And everything that we are going through, everything that we have to encounter as children of God is for the glorification of the name of God. And there is a bigger purpose. There is a bigger purpose. There is always a bigger purpose. For some of us, it will take a longer period of time for us to experience some of the things that to walk into our promise, to experience some of the blessings. Your affliction, right? Your affliction might be what God will use to minister his word to the heart of another person. So you need to be afflicted so that somebody's soul is going to be saved. That is just how it is sometimes. Sometimes you need to encounter the grief, go through it, experience it, and your story is what is going to save the soul of another person. I'm not trying to say that our bodies are not important to God. No, that is not it. But that there are experiences that we'll have to go through for the salvation of souls. And as hard as it may seem, as hard as it is actually, we can never fully walk the walk of faith without depending on God, without depending on his grace, without depending on him, that is his enabling grace, that grace that helps us, irrespective of what we are going through, to actually stay committed to our work with God. If you live in Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria, we are going through a certain phase of difficulty right now. And it's almost like people are wondering, why your church, why the elect few, why us? But the truth is that these things are really what tests our faith. I don't know why I'm doing this, right? But then it's like an encouragement to somebody that might have been waiting on God for something. I'm also in my waiting season. I'm waiting on God for a lot of things, right? And it's almost like these stories were pointed towards us to actually realize that it's usually bigger than what we can see and what we can comprehend from the normal, natural, place of understanding of man. So in case at some point you thought you are going to be able to do this thing, this faith work thing on your own, this is my reminder to you that you have to always depend on the grace of God, because the journey is not easy. Yeah. And there's a part of the Bible that says, do not fear the one who can only kill the body, but fear him who can destroy both the body and the soul. Remember, the soul is what is most important. And still, God desires that we prosper in all ways. So do not ever think that our bodies are not important to God. Yes, they're important. But since we are still in this world, there are certain experiences that we'll have to go through. May you be encouraged.